Hey guys, it's BD from bdoneyewear.com, my website where you can get free eyewear styling, read up on blog posts and shop eyewear. So in this video, I know it's been a while, first of all, it's been a while, but I thought I'd come back with a video because people asked me very similar questions. I'm going to talk about my experiences within optometry so far, so where I've worked, what I've done, that kind of thing, just to give you guys an idea of what you can do within optometry if you haven't qualified yet, or if you are an optometrist and you're like, oh, what else can I do? So let's go. Before you can become an optometrist, like a qualified optometrist in the UK, you have to do your pre-reg year. So everyone does that. You work in practice for a bit, you have exams, you do your final exams, you're done, finished, qualified, right? So this video is going to be about from that point on. So when I qualified, I worked in a multiple. It was a big store. There were loads of testing rooms and I was employed there fully, full-time, 5 days a week. I think I worked some Saturdays and Sundays. So yeah, that's what I did. I worked there. That was cool. It was good going from there after my pre-reg because you learn a lot when you're forced to see a lot of people. You get a lot quicker. So when I finished pre-reg, I think my testing time was like still about 40 minutes, which is actually kind of long. And by the time I had like started the new job, it was like 30, 25 pretty quickly. So yeah, and that was a good time. It was good to go to a multiple, a big one, because there were loads of optoms, some who were newly qualified like me, some who'd been there for a long time. So you kind of didn't feel alone. You felt like you could always go to someone and be like, hey, just seen this patient, like, you know, what's going on? So after that, I started working part-time for the same multiple. So instead of doing my 5 days a week, I think I was doing 4 days a week because I wanted to start like being more consistent on YouTube, which I was, but now I'm not, but you know, we move. So then I started working part-time. Yeah, I started working part-time, and then I moved to a different store within the same company, one that was closer to home, so shorter commute time. And again, I was working part-time. I've also locumed as well in an independent, so that was around the same sort of time. I would locum occasionally at an independent. An independent is different. It depends, because the independent I worked at was quite small, so it was more intimate. There was only one testing room, so I would be the only optom there. So any questions I had, I would just like message the people there in it and be like, hey guys, I don't know what's going on. They didn't have a fundus camera, they didn't have an autorefractor, so I was doing retinoscopy again, which at first I was like, and it was written records. So I was kind of like, rah, I've come from systems like OAs and everything to like literally it's me. It was good though, it was good for growth. My ret now I'm a lot more comfortable with than I was before, because you ret during pre-reg and then after that you don't. So yeah, so that was good. That was the independent, and that was locuming and independent. So after that time period where I was kind of working part-time and locuming every once in a while, I decided to do a master's in investigative ophthalmology and vision sciences. I'll put a link down to the course itself in the description box so you can check it out. I did that because I felt like my brain was just dying. I felt like I wasn't being challenged, right? Like you get to a point where you're used to refraction, you're used to working, you know what you're doing. And I just kind of felt like I wanted to challenge myself a little bit. Also, the course was in Manchester and I love Manchester. And I was like, oh, go Manchester for a year, why not? So yeah, that was cool. Like people ask me all the time, like, oh, do you have to get a master's to like do optometry or to work in wherever? And you don't have to, like, you don't have to. People don't, and they work in all kinds of places. But I just wanted to do that because I just wanted to learn again, and I love the bubble. I love the bubble of uni. Like you have your lectures, you have your exams, you know exactly what's going to happen, you know when to revise. Like it's just a very comfortable bubble, and I love the bubble of education. So yeah. So while I was doing my masters, it was full-time masters, but you weren't in all the time. So I was locuming again. This time I was locuming for multiples because it's like easier to find those kind of roles. Like all the big ones, they have apps and stuff that you can sign up to, and then you can find jobs that way. So yeah, I was doing that. That was, again, it was good because again, it was like I wasn't going a whole year studying and not doing any refractions or not seeing any patients. So it was good. Like locum work, I'll do a whole video on like locum stuff. If you have any particular questions, leave them down below. But locum work is calm. Like you go when you want to go. If you don't want to work, you don't work, you know. And as I am now, like I don't have a mortgage, I don't have kids, I'm not married. Like it's not really that many responsibilities in my life. So like if I want to work, cool. If I don't, cool. you know, and I feel like this is as free as I will ever be to be like this. When you start getting responsibilities, you can't just be turning down shifts anyhow, you know, you can't. So yeah, locum is good for the flexibility. If you don't want to work on Saturdays, you don't have to work on Saturdays, but then if you do work on Saturdays, they pay you more most of the time, so you might want to work on Saturdays, you know. All right, so last couple of things now. One thing I did, which I think actually deserves a whole video, is domiciliary work. So when I finished my master's, I got a part-time job doing domiciliary. I was doing it for 3 days a week, and then 2 days, we'll talk about that next. So 3 days a week I was doing domiciliary work. Domiciliary, for those who don't know, is when you, the optom, goes to the patient's house and does the eye test at the patient's house. This is because they are unable to get to like a high street store unassisted, without help. So you can't just be like, oh, I don't want to go out today, I want to get a dummy visit. No, you have to qualify, and that's kind of like what the qualification is. Like, you can't get out unassisted. That can be because of like mental health issues, physical issues, ailments, that kind of thing. So yeah, as you can imagine, a lot of the patients you see are older, which I don't really mind. Like I like old people. There's like a certain brand of old people that I really like the homely ones, the nice ones. Like, they want to tell you stories and they're just nice. And then there's the other brand which is like, I hate everything, I just want to die. And they're a little bit but you can't control who you see, you just got to see them, you know. So yeah, it was really interesting. Again, any specific questions on domiciliary, I will answer them in a video, a completely different video, because I could talk about that for days, and I only did it for like 6 months. Okay, so last thing is diabetic eye screening. So for those who don't know, when you have diabetes, you are at risk of losing your vision due to diabetic changes that happen in the retina at the back of the eye. The longer you have the diabetes, the more at risk you are of these sort of changes happening. They're not all bad, you know, but like with anything, if you leave it for ages, you're gonna like mess yourself up. So why would you do that? Therefore, there's a screening program where I say they, the people, them in the back, they invite the diabetic people to come every year. They get drops put in their eyes, pupils get bigger, take pictures of the back of their eyes, and then someone will grade the images. So look at it, are there signs of diabetes, how bad, blah 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 blah. So I do that. So you don't have to be an optometrist to do the grading. You can just learn how to do that if you want to do that. But what an optometrist would do is also be a slit lamp optometrist and a grader. So a slit lamp optometrist just means those patients who can't get on the camera how like most people could, or if the images aren't good, you might have to look at them on the slit lamp instead. So when you do that, you're more likely to see things that maybe, you know, you wouldn't have seen if the picture quality was poor, or if the patient couldn't actually get a picture taken for various reasons. So yeah, you do that. So I was doing that 2 days a week, and then domiciliary 3 days a week. So yeah, I wasn't really working in a shop. So I know a lot of people think that with optometry you have to just work in a shop and then you die and then that's it, which is fine. Some people love that, the stability, you know exactly what you're doing, absolutely fine. But some people want a bit of variety within their week, and those are just a few ways to do that. So yeah, those are the roles I've done within optometry so far, including the master's, which is just education. It wasn't really a role. But yeah, any questions, any comments, leave them down below. Any other videos you want to see, let me know. And I will see you guys in, oh guys, follow me on Instagram, BD on Eyewear, and also bdoneyewear.com, check that out. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Any questions, any comments, leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video.